Good morning, guys. Welcome to English 12 again. So your aim for the rest of the week is how can I delineate and evaluate an argument in Martin Luther King's speech on the Vietnam War? Again, just to remind you, as a reminder, delineate is a verb. It means to describe or portray something precisely. So, as you guys have been doing for the past few days, and about 2 weeks ago now, we've been looking at this speech. So today, you guys are going to be reading 4 more pages of the speech, and tomorrow you're going to read the last 4 pages of the speech. And again, keep in mind that we are breaking this argument up and we are evaluating it, looking at the different aspects of the argument. So for your do now, as always, make sure that you are filling out and submitting your attendance form. Attendance still does matter. We're trying to track it as efficiently as possible. So just make sure that you and your peers and your colleagues are filling out that form. Remind anyone, get on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is that you guys use, and remind them to sign in and complete their assignments because grades are business as usual. And just motivating, maybe motivating word to the wise, we sink or swim together. We are in this together. This is a big learning curve for all of us. It's a very different shift, a different change, but I think a silver lining for you guys, especially as you guys are college bound, this is kind of a little bit of experience of what this may look like for you, especially completing things online, and sometimes you may have an online class. So this is kind of like a preface to that experience. Also, keep me updated on your college acceptances. Those are a big deal, and that's always something nice to hear from you all. I miss you guys. So our agenda, we're going over the aim. I'm going to go over your task and the rubric for soapstones. I created a rubric just because I want to be very clear on the expectations for the assignment. I'm going to go over some things with Google Classroom because I know some of us are having difficulty, very few, but some of us are having some difficulty with Classroom, some general feedback, and then a look ahead about what we'll be doing going forward. So I've attached this rubric. I'm going to send the PowerPoint to you guys, and I'll also attach the rubric to the assignment in Google Classroom. So we're going to go over this pretty quickly. I'm not going to go super in depth. I'm just going to hit some major points here. It's a 4-point scale. And I'm really looking for 2 things specifically. I'm looking for the sentence structure of your response. So we always look at, like I always say, we always look at the highest section of a rubric, advanced. So 4, your response to your soapstones is detailed and uses a complete and proper sentence structure with ending punctuation. Your soapstone responses appeal to the guiding questions asked on the Google form. So as always, let's look at the first bookmark. Here you see there's a guiding question. So just to kind of help you get your answer. The speaker. Who is the speaker in the text? Is it the author or is it a fictitious character? So that's what I mean by guiding questions. Your responses explicitly align to the ideas presented in the text. So obviously, if we are reading a text about Martin Luther King's thoughts on the Vietnam War and the ethics of the war and the politics involved in the war, you want to make sure that your responses actually align with that. And then the second thing I'm looking for is your response to the text-based questions. So if we go back to the bookmark I previously assigned, at the bottom, right before your gist section, I always assign like 2 to 3 questions. You'll be getting more questions going forward as we're trying to speed this along. I want to get through the speech so we can get to the rest of our content. So that's the second part of the rubric. Your responses to text-based questions directly align and borrow from ideas in the text. And your response uses evidence from the text to add validity to your overall answers. You just want to make sure that you're fully answering these questions, you're using complete and proper sentences, and that you're playing with the text. You're using the text as a tool to prove your argument about his argument, or to prove and answer these questions about his argument. When you complete your bookmark for today, keep in mind it'll be due by 11:59 tomorrow night. I'm trying to give you guys a 48-hour window kind of to do things since we are not in school and I know access to technology may be sporadic for some of us. And you'll receive a new bookmark tomorrow. So you'll get a new bookmark today, and then you'll get a new bookmark tomorrow, meaning Thursday. And then while you're completing your bookmark, for today, I want you to pay special attention to the style section. Previously, in the last 2 bookmarks that you did, I didn't include the style section, but the style section is super important as we've reached a certain midpoint mark in the text. So this is your bookmark for today. The style section. So whenever we think about author style, we want to think about their writing. So what does the author's word choice tell you about this text and their argument? And how does their word choice, their sentence structure, their use of figurative language, how do those things all shape the overall mood of the text? How does this help create an image in your head as a reader? Whenever you read things, it is very important to kind of try to visualize what the author is telling us about. Sorry, Siri popped up. We kind of want to visualize what the author is talking about. So how does style impact the text? You want to think about that particularly for this time, and then you'll also have some text-based questions to answer. There are 3. And then lastly, again, you can contact me at my Gmail account via email. If you wish to contact me via phone, I can give you that information on a case-by-case basis. Yesterday, just as a trial and just to see how things could work in the future, I hosted a video call for each of our class periods. I spoke to a few of you. It was a volunteer only. It wasn't required, as if you had questions or if you needed clarification on something. So that's an opportunity to do that going forward. These calls may be formalized and may become a requirement a few days out of the week or a couple of days out of the week, but we'll get to that when we get to that. As always, I'll be available to answer direct questions from 9:30 to 2:30 each day, but I always respond to my email, so whether it's 10, 11 at night, 8 o'clock in the morning, I will get back to you if you have any specific questions. Remember your literature circle roles. This is also available to you on Google Classroom if you need clarification on that. I am going to be reaching out to the vocab visionaries for each group. I'm going to send you an additional document because you're still responsible for completing that role. This is what your new bookmark is going to look like. This will also be on Google Classroom. You're going to be reading pages 157 to 160. Make sure that you fill in this name section, so that way I know your form is yours. And also, let's go through some things for Google Classroom really quick. So mine looks a little bit different from yours just because I'm the administrator here, I'm the teacher here, so mine looks a little bit different. Let's look at period 3. You always want to look at this classwork section. This is where all your assignments will show up. The way I have your bookmark set is when you complete this, so you go through it, you answer every question, you hit you're done, and at the bottom yours will say submit. Mine doesn't say submit because I'm the owner of the form. You're going to get a copy of your responses. I have that set like that, so that way it's kind of a confirmation for you to know that I have received your response. So even if something crazy happens in cyberspace and the internet gets wonky, no matter what, you have a copy of your work just in case it didn't somehow make it to me. But that's just a check for you. That's a confirmation for you to know that I've received your work. If there is a question whether or not I've received your work, you can send me an email. Some of you have done that already, or you can add a private comment on Classroom. I respond to those pretty quickly. But yes, just make sure that you hit submit at the bottom. Otherwise, I don't have it. And again, you are going to receive a copy of your responses. So there's no need to send me that copy unless I ask for it. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out. I will post this PowerPoint in the classroom with some additional resources, and your bookmark will also be posted along with this YouTube video. I hope you're all staying well, staying healthy. I hope to hear from you soon.